welcome back to the MMA Split podcast. In video again. In studio again. With Josh, returned from the darkness of sickness.
Yep. Well, I still got a cold, but you know, just gonna have a cold.
I had to man the reins last week on my own. Tried to add some cool video shit. YouTube copyrighted. UFC didn't like it, so no need. I've got a human to talk to, bounce things off. I'll say this: talking on your own for 35 to 40 minutes to a camera wasn't easy. Was not easy. There was a lot of for fuck's sake, pause, cut, start from the beginning. But in the end, learned some cool stuff. Learned how to use OBS, which I was pretty happy with.
Yeah, it's big shout out to OBS and Video Ninja, which when we do remote sessions as we want to be doing them, that is our go-to. So for those in the know, I think you already appreciate those two.
No Video Ninja needed today. We are both in the same place. I am one half of this podcast, hosting Giro, Matt, joined again by host and producer Josh, back on his producing mantle, which I'm not good at, and I'm glad to not have to do this week. The only sad thing is that you've come back to talk about one of the worst cards that we're going to have all year. It had everything. Every disappointment that you could want. In fact, the only major disappointment I can think of is we didn't have a clear-cut robbery.
No. Do you know what?
Oh, wait. There is one that we can talk about on the prelims. So you could even argue there might even be that, depending on how you feel about the...
Are you talking about the Aliev fight?
I'm thinking Johnson, Ode Osborne versus Charles Johnson.
Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah. No, I'd let that one slip my mind.
We will discuss that. We will not discuss the main event because it didn't happen, but we will discuss the main event not happening. And I think we got time, plenty of time left over afterwards to touch on a little bit of news. So, with all of that out the way, I think we're about 1 week away from fully moving across to our new home, the relaunch of the channel. Very few of you have moved across and subscribed. We would
Will.
Sorry?
They will, though. You will.
We would like more of you two, but we also think that once there aren't two videos up pulling views away from each other, that will happen organically. I did not put the link in the videos last time. That is my fault. But Josh is going to this week.
Yeah, you've had plenty of links. You had plenty of chances. They're still there. Go grab them. But there will be one in the description for this video, unless you're a good subscriber. And I felt a bit sexy there when I said sub, and then I realised what I'd done. I was trying to shorten it on the cuff. But if you've done a good job, you've already moved over, fair play to you.
Well,
you can skip the next 5 seconds of me being mean to people. You other dicks, though. You godless heathens. What are you thinking?
One of them is me. I think
you haven't moved over.
I've moved over.
Okay, I've moved over.
So that basically means only one other person has subscribed so far.
That's Kate.
And that's Kate. So nobody else has moved across to the new home for the channel.
So that's all of you then.
Okay, all of you need to get a fucking move on. Otherwise, it's going to be on. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put a post after we upload the last video that we're going to upload on the old channel, and featuring the link for the new channel, and we'll do it that way. So you'll have one final warning and a way to move across to us if you want to keep listening to us. If not, well, we're a lot better at this than we used to.
Where else are you getting your eye candy? That's what I want to know.
Pornhub. Like, subscribe. Don't subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the new one. Comment. All comments are good, bad, negative. You like us, you don't like us. I allow all the comments on the videos. You can say horrible shit about us. We're big boys. We can handle it. We'll take it on the chin. Right. Ryan Span.
Quick shout out to Kenny. Thank you for engaging, pal.
Thank you for saying you were going to save our video for later. We appreciate that. We hope you enjoyed the video when you watched it. And we also hope that you subscribe to the new home.
Yeah, drop your pics in the comments as well for the next step.
Do you think it would have been helpful if we called the new channel like the MMA Split podcast in the name, just so it was easier for people to find it in the title?
What's it called at the moment?
The MMA Split, but you use small letters for the split instead of big letters.
Alright, yeah. I'll add podcast on there.
Nice one. MMA Split podcast. Easy to find. Right, Ryan Spann was meant to fight Nikita Krylov. It did not happen. I was very disappointed because, as I've already explained to Josh, I was about an hour behind on the broadcast. I was just fast forwarding through all the parts that weren't people fighting. No idea until way later in the card that I wasn't getting the main event that I wanted. And for those of you that did listen to the pick show, which I handled on my own, you would have heard me say that there were about 3 reasons why I was watching this card, and the main one was the main event. So, what was your disappointment level, Josh? I was not happy, to say the least.
It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. I don't mind. And if you do mind, well, you should move across to the new channel and leave a comment. You lazy bastards.
Good plug.
Yeah, always selling. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was disappointed. At the same time, this wasn't a glitzy card. So many fights had fucking dropped off. I kind of felt numb to it by well, actually I was watching this on Saturday. I don't stay up for a lot of them. I did on this one. I didn't mind losing a fight, even if it was one of the only fights I cared about. There was some good performances, some good fights, some talking points on this card, but yeah, it wasn't.
I did the pick show on Thursday, and we still lost 2 fights even before Saturday. And then on Saturday we lost another fight. It was.
I wonder if the illnesses were connected.
Yeah, I didn't find out the reason for the other fights cancelling. I should have done. But
The women's fight was down to illness, and obviously Krylov illness as well. So
man, there's a lot of bugs going around at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I just like throwing conspiracies out like I'm a prick.
Who knows? But it was a big disappointment, man. I didn't think this was the most exciting fight. There's something about Ryan Spann that I don't find. What's the word? He doesn't excite me.
Okay.
When I see him on the line.
He doesn't, but remember, he does sometimes have that penchant to either lose big or win big.
This is true.
So I don't mind seeing his name on there sometimes. I'm not a super fan, but this guy does tend to produce good fights from time to time. I'm always willing to take a punt on Spann.
Krylov is fun.
Yeah.
He's wild. So that was always going to be a fun fight, if maybe a fight that I didn't earmark as particularly significant or off the mark exciting, particularly as a main event. To kind of lose that and end up having what was still a good fight in Muniz versus Brendan Allen. And as a co-main event, I thought that was one of the better fights on the card. 3-round main event, it just didn't...
Yeah. Less relevant as well to the title picture, just... It's it's not the same.
No. Having said that, our main event was Andre Muniz against Brendan Allen. Thank you for messaging your picks in. We both picked Muniz with a fair amount of confidence for me. I think you were probably a little bit...
Yeah, it seemed like the sensible pick, to be honest.
Didn't expect Brendan Allen to kind of... Well, 1, sort of stave off the grappling, and 2, end up submitting him. That I did not see coming.
Well, to be honest, when it was a stand-up fight, I felt like Muniz might have been edging it. I haven't seen what the scorecards were for the first 2 rounds, but I wouldn't be surprised if Muniz had 2 rounds on at least 2 judges' cards. But yeah, man, fuck. 3rd round.
He pulls it out of the bag. And the crazy thing about Brendan Allen now, if you look at his record, he's something like... He's only lost 2 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, but this is probably his biggest win.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So...
I mean, the Kevin Holland one's aged well.
Yeah.
That's aged really well. But this feels like it's a... you ended up being the main event. You're fighting a guy that's, beat Uriah Hall in his last fight, tore through Eric Anders, beat Jacare Souza.
Yeah, pulls arm bars out of weird positions.
I'll say one thing, though. I think, and I kind of felt this with it's the only thing I probably got right talking on the pick show on my own about, but if you look at the Uriah Hall fight, Uriah Hall got dominated by Andre Muniz, but he didn't get submitted, and he actually did a pretty decent job of being able to hold off the armbar back takes, And apart from having that, it didn't really look like Muniz was. There wasn't a lot of sort of genuine attempts at rear naked chokes or changing positions.
Yeah, 0 submission attempts.
So I do wonder whether or not, and obviously Brendan Allen, he's got a good team. He strikes me as somebody that prepares and studies his opponents reasonably well. I think they maybe looked at him and just thought, you know what, there's only one position where we've really got to be concerned. And actually, if you break it down, there might only be one attack that he's excellent at and he's a specialist at. But as long as we just make sure that we don't do this, that, and the other, you know, we don't allow ourselves to be in that position. If we are, don't do this to try and get out of it.
I think that's why Allen initiated so much of the stand-up, you know? And it wasn't until, you know, he'd been taken down, immediately reversed the position and dominated Muniz on the ground that he then felt comfortable with that element of it. But, you know, obviously, like, the way it panned out, you think that if Allen had... he kind of allowed a takedown to occur in the same way. I think taking him down might have created riskier scrambles, but waiting for Muniz to take him down with such a lazy attempt and reversed it, he probably could have initiated this sort of attack in the first round. Doesn't fucking matter. Beautiful rear naked choke against, what, a 3rd degree black belt?
Yep.
Now, you know, the way he switched the arm on the attack, it's nice, but it's not like so sophisticated that, like, I don't know, like what, a brown belt should be reading that? A blue belt? I don't know.
You know, I think Muniz was a little tired though by that point as well.
Oh yeah. I don't think that boy had trained as much stand up as those first 2 rounds kind of dictated.
That's interesting because it's usually the reverse, isn't it? It's usually guys that are more strikers when they get forced to wrestle that we see that energy tank drain. But it goes the other way as well, and it's funny, that's Muniz and Puelles now, who are 2 guys that we kind of like were looking at one fight ago being like, man, these jiu-jitsu guys are tearing through everybody, you know, is this kind of pure jiu-jitsu style making a sort of return in the sport? And it's still a case that once you get, I think, to a certain level, these guys get found out a little bit, and Brendan Allen... We can edit this part out. Or not.
I'm not. People should know. I'm human.
He was... I wasn't lying when I said he was sick last week. There is your proof. As I now get worried that I get sick. But, c'est la vie. This is a big win for Brendan Allen. And he's a well-rounded fighter, man. He can do everything. And you don't need to be a 3rd degree black belt to sub out a black belt if you're well-rounded enough and you've got all the other facets to be able to...
He can do everything, but his submission game is definitely his sharpest tool.
Did he tap out for Kevin Holland when they fought?
Oh, man, I can't remember right now.
Pretty sure he did. Pretty sure. So, that's got big wins. And even if you look at the Chris Curtis fight, I mean, he'll be kicking himself if he didn't win that.
Yeah. Do you think he gets the rematch? I don't think he gets the rematch.
Chris Curtis is fighting somebody coming up. I think he's fighting... I want to say Kelvin Gastelum.
He has got a fight coming up. But what I'm saying is, like, even if he loses his next fight, do you think they rematch Alan with Curtis or Alan with Strickland? Or do you think they put Alan up against someone in the top 10 that needs a dance partner? Because I think Alan's going to get a top 10 fight. And I think
is he ranked
Alan's...
at the moment?
No.
I don't think
he will be.
I don't think he gets top 10. I think he gets a top 15 fight, though. Maybe number 15 or number 14.
I don't know. I think submitting Muniz earned you a bit of grace. I think they give him a fun fight.
How was Muniz not ranked?
He was.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, no, Muniz was ranked. Alan wasn't. I think Muniz was like 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we definitely gets a top 10 fight then, Alan.
Yeah.
100% gets a top 10 fight. Not even a question. Trying to think about some fun fights.
Where's Hermanson ranked?
Hermanson would be a contender.
I just think that'd be a fun one, because if you're going to take out grapplers, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the next on the list for sure.
I'll tell you which name stands out.
Go on.
Darren Till.
Yeah?
He's a striker. Brendan Allen can grapple and he can strike, but I think the UFC will look at Brendan Allen as somebody that isn't horrifically dangerous to Till in one or particular aspect, in a way that Duplessis would be, or like Derek Brunson was for him.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good step up fight for Brendan Allen. I think it would be a good bounce back fight for Darren Till. I think it would be an entertaining fight. And if I'm honest, if Darren Till can't beat Brendan Allen, you've got no business staying at middleweight. Although I've heard rumours of Darren Till looking at welterweight again. I don't know if you've heard this, but like trying to do it more from like a nutrition and like reducing muscle mass.
See in a minute.
It's going to be one of those podcasts.
It's not COVID. That puts you mind.
Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah. Just the cold. Just the cold. Yeah, Darren Till, I like that. We've managed to spin out a good amount of time on a 3-round main event
that we weren't particularly happy with.
It was an okay fight. It wasn't bad. It was just, you know what I mean, like given everything that happened, you needed something special to really carry the event here, and we didn't get that.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, what, this is the second time that this has happened in 3 months? 4 months? These main events, man, cancelled on the day. It's not the one. It's not the one. It's also not helped when you have a co-main event that's Augusto Sakai versus Dontel Mays. Only thing I can say on this one is Sakai needed that win.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's actually still in the UFC.
But he's not that bad. He's not that bad.
No, but 3 losses, man. They're not usually kind to 3 losses.
I know he put in some good work before that, though. So anyway, yeah, he definitely needed that win. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of fights we just kind of skip on this card, to be honest.
We don't need to talk about that too long. Let's talk about Tatiana Suarez. I never thought she was going to come back. I thought it was going to be like a Zabit situation. It's just like, you know, the myth of Tatiana Suarez. This mythical fighter that was just going to wrestle fuck everybody. If only she was there. If only she was fit, she'd be the one challenging Valentina, Rose, Zhang Weili. We're talking about her across any weight class.
Well,
she won.
Yeah, Montana De La Rosa is not a bad fighter, but she's not on Suarez's level. The difference in weight class created a bit of parity there, but this was a very dominant performance from Suarez. And I'm fucking excited she's back, man. And I like that she accepted a fight against someone like De La Rosa, given that, you know, she's no fucking bum, and this is flyweight, so I don't know. Good fight.
Tatiana Suarez did not look small for the division, man. She still looked fucking huge at flyweight.
Yeah. No, this lady cuts weight, and you know she's gonna get down to strawweight. I think she needs a big fight.
She needs a bigger fight than Montana De La Rosa.
This was a tune-up fight. This was a tune-up fight outside your weight class. It was, you know, on the road to recovery kind of thing. You know, you gotta like test yourself, see where you're really at.
Well, the reality is, well, at strawweight, I mean, very few real grapplers that I can think of. Quite a few girls that can grapple, but no wrestlers to the level of Suarez. And as a result, none of these 115ers have had to actually fight somebody that brings that kind of wrestling threat. So there's very little chance to prepare for it until they're going to be fighting Suarez. Let's see if I can bring up the rankings for strawweight.
Yeah. At the same time, though, if she can comfortably make 115, that style just begs, you know, create a size advantage.
True.
That takes you from a decision A to a finisher.
Okay, so don't know why it's in some weird language there. I would like to see her fight Jan Didoba.
I think she's got a fight at the moment, but she wins that, definitely.
Maybe Michelle Waterson.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. I don't know.
I'd maybe look a little higher up, to be honest.
The thing is, I was having a look, man. Higher up, say it's a murderer's row. You've got Tisha Torres, who's not going to be fighting anytime soon.
Yep.
Mackenzie Dern. I don't know if you want to give Mackenzie Dern that fight. I don't know if you want to give
kind
Suarez that
of
fight.
would love to see that fight, to be honest.
Straight away?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to build both of them up?
Well, they're both there or thereabouts, right? That's kind of how I feel about Suarez. That's kind of where Big Mac is. So, yeah, I think Suarez against Dern is a fight for both ladies where it's like your stock's going to go up a fair fucking bit.
Yeah.
If you win that fight, if you finish that fight, you're probably one fight away from a title shot. No, fuck, you're definitely one fight away from a title shot. They can't keep the logjam they've got out there forever, you know?
Yeah, but
Esparza's gone, right? Like we can kind of assume Esparza's more or less out of the picture now.
Yeah, but you can't say that Rose isn't out of the picture when she's got
Nope.
2 wins over Zhang. You can't say that
Zhang.
Zhang's obviously the champ. Yan Xiaonan's right in the mix. Amanda Lemos is in the mix. I'd rather see Andrade be more at strawweight than flyweight. So I just think there's a lot of... And I think, for example, if you were to say, okay, we're putting Andrade in there against Suarez, I don't like that fight for either of them right now.
No, but I think if you're Suarez or Dern and you get a finish over the other one, then you're gonna get one of those ladies next. Obviously, not Zhang, but one of the others, or not whoever the current champion is. And then after that, you win that fight, you're probably going to get the next title. You're definitely going to get the next title shot. I don't know. I have to keep correcting myself. Because, well, frankly, even if you're not up next immediately, you just got to sit a little bit and they'll put you up eventually anyway. You know, they, even though there's been a steady churn of champions at 115, the truth is that they've all fought each other to some degree. You need fresh blood in eventually. They're going to get to a point where whoever's like reigning champ hasn't fought Suarez yet. And there isn't going to be anyone else that's like right up there with the new blood that hasn't had the same impressive kind of wins. So,
has she definitely said she's coming back to mainly be a strawweight?
yes. Yeah. This was just a, I'm coming back. I've been off for a long time. I don't want to have to cut weight along with everything else.
Got it.
So, and I think a pretty fucking sensible approach, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Would it have been better to wait a year and go back to 115? I don't think so.
No, she's already been off for what, 4 years? 4.5 years?
And I say a year arbitrarily, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to get to the point where it's like, okay, I know I'm fucking game ready and I can cut weight and I can do everything, I think that would have been a mistake. However long it would have been, it was good to get this fight in. You know, she didn't take a lot of damage, so...
Let's play this game. I'm going to run through some names. Tell me if you think Suarez can beat them.
Alright.
Michelle Waterson.
Yes.
Amanda Lemos.
Yes.
Andrade.
I mean, like, potentially, but I'd really have to see it to believe it. She's not, like, obviously, she has to be able to take her down without taking any damage. I don't know how realistic that is, but the potential is there. If she can take her down, abso-fucking-lutely.
Mackenzie Dern.
I need to see it. I think it's like a 50-50, to be honest.
Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah.
Confidence on that one.
Not confident, but I'm like yeah.
Rose.
Yeah, potentially. Well, fuck. I mean, look at the Esparza fight. We're not really...
True.
We can't say she's infallible.
True.
But if she has to work off her back the entire fight... And she's very flexible. She has good submissions, but if she's literally pinned down on her back the whole time, could be a long, ugly night. I don't know.
Amanda Hebas.
Yeah, again, yeah, potentially, yeah. And I think again, it's the same thing. It's going to be dangerous to get the takedowns in, and it's not like she hasn't got a ground game. So
doing too much fence sitting to me in my game fun.
No, I'm trying to play it fairly, but my point is that there's a lot of women that are there or thereabouts. So I'm not saying Suarez is going straight to the top. I'm saying if you book her against Dern, the winner of that fight, if it's an impressive win or a finish, they're one fight away from a title shot. They're one win away from a title shot.
I think we've done a good job of stretching the time on that fight.
Yeah, we've made a bad card entertaining, I think.
We'll just touch on a couple of these. Mike Mallow went through Johan Lainez pretty comfortably.
Yeah,
good submission.
Good performance.
Trevor Peak. This guy was fun. We need to talk about this guy. I had no idea about this guy. Pretty sure I picked him just because he's undefeated. I had no idea he was going to be that much fun. Described his martial arts style as street fighting.
Yeah.
And based on what I saw, yeah, that's correct. That's 100% the style. He fights like he's in a parking lot. That's not my line. They said that on the broadcast. Mixed in with the craziness, though, I thought, mixing up, going, to the body, to the head in combinations. Some were decent level of head movement. Not spectacular, but
was it a lack
forward.
of respect for your opponent, or is it that this guy just doesn't really know how to fight? I think that's the thing. Like, if it's just that he knew he could bully him and it was just a complete lack of respect for your opponent, it's not the worst strategy in the world. But if you're gonna fight like that every fucking fight, man, like,
I don't think he made a tactical analysis of Ghost Pepper and said, I don't think that this guy's power can affect me. I'm pretty sure it was a combination of the guy's bigger and taller and has got a longer reach than me, so I'm gonna just try and get inside and land shit. And that became, fuck it, I'm just gonna go forward, who gives a fuck, one of these are gonna hit. I mean, some of the punches he hit him with, man, there was quite a few of these. There was one brilliant, it was like a punt. There was one, it was just like he was reaching forward and kind of, it was halfway through a hook and just went, Urgh! Just tag you.
Well, I thought it was good. Anything to kind of try and open up the guard, eh? At that point, I thought the guy was showing some savvy, but
he showed good finishing instincts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he had him hurt. He put pressure on. Decent cardio for what we saw. Had at least the cardio to keep going. Seemed to be able to kind of continue in that fashion. He's confident as well, man. He's knocked out everyone he's fought. He's got no reason to think that it's going to go any differently.
Yeah, and he's had some decent opponents, so fair play to him.
You have to love the bright-eyed wonder of somebody that, he's in the UFC, he's a fan of it, he kind of can't believe that he's here. And even in the post-fight, he's just like, oh shit, it's you, I'm being interviewed by you. And there's Michael Bisping. Oh, I'm going to get to Bruce Buffer. I'm going to go get a photo with Bruce Buffer. It's kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool. He's going to realise quite soon that the UFC is not this. It's not the Disneyland that I think he's currently viewing it as.
Yeah.
How long do you think that takes? It's one fight, bright-eyed wonder, everything's amazing, my dream's coming true.
I think it's the first fight after you started to invest more in your training camp and you're like, oh shit, this isn't sustainable. If I don't get performance bonuses, I don't eat. I think that's the point at which you go this is fucked.
I think it's when you have your first loss in a key fight and suddenly you come in the next day and realise that nobody is reacting or talking to you in quite the same way at the promotion.
Yeah, probably.
All of a sudden those
that's a drop
look
off.
how many new followers I get every single time I have a fight and everyone's loving my sound bites too. Why does everyone say that I'm shit now? I just came out of hospital, I've had a rough time, I got paid less money, I'll just have the support of my fans. No, I'm not. They're all angry because apparently I lost money for them.
Yeah, you're picturing Tom there, aren't you?
Yeah, Tom gets so annoyed, man. He gets so annoyed. Right, let's run through some of these others. Jasmine Yazduvicius. I did a fucking terrible job pronouncing her name on the pic show, dude. I think I was going for Yasudavicius every single time. Even though I've heard her name said before because of the Natalia De Silva fight. Her name should be etched in my brain. You picked Fernandez. I picked Jezevicius,
Jazzy
which isn't even the right way to say it. That's what I just said was the wrong way, but fuck it, I'm too stoned for this shit. Jasmine gets it done. She kind of has the performance that I think most people thought she was going to have against Natalia Silva in her last fight.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Fernandez looked better on the feet, some sharp striking, kicks looked nice, couldn't deal with the wrestling, couldn't deal with being on Bodden. That was not overly entertaining, but good win for Jasmine. Big win for Jordan Levitt. This guy's had to eat a lot of shit since he lost to Paddy Pimblett.
Yep.
And he's a bit of a weird dude. But it doesn't matter when you land fucking knees in the clinch like that. All I'll say is Victor Martinez should... I mean, I'd say hang your head in shame. But that was one of the problems, is that you were hanging your head. And you got shamed for it, man. You got shamed for it. Jordan Levitt. Do you give him points for the Dirty Dancing celebration? Or is that just like too high on the cringe factor for you?
I missed that bit. Well, I don't really stick around for the end of a Jordan Levitt fight.
After he did his interview, he jumped into the air and his coach caught him, like in Dirty Dancing, you know, with the...
I appreciate the guy doing something different.
Yeah. He also said that everyone in England is too riotous. They're all getting far too drunk and far too early in the daytime.
Yeah, you got eyes and what? I'm not impressed. You know, his YouTube channel is just him reviewing fantasy novels.
No way. No way.
No, I'm not lying. That's real. That's real.
Do you know what it's called?
I don't know. If you type Jordan Levitt into YouTube, like, how much shit's gonna come out? Like, no offense, Jordan. And I like fantasy novels, bro. Good for you.
Jordan Levitt.
Just saying, you know what I mean? Like, you're oh shit.
I can't find it. It's just a bunch of his UFC highlights. Oh, I'll find it later. I've got to have a look at that. That sounds ridiculous. But again, it doesn't matter when you're knocking people out with knees. You can be as weird as you fucking want. Tony Ferguson was a weird dude and everyone loved him.
I'll tell you what, if he's under 5k subscribers, we should befriend his channel. That's my thinking.
You also do like fantasy novels.
I do like fantasy novels, yeah.
In fact, your camera's currently sitting on a box of the Witcher novels.
It is.
As we talk. Yeah, maybe we should show to Jordan Levitt.
Yeah.
Particularly if he's a winner now. Another person that's a winner is Ode Osborne. That man's had an up and down UFC career.
Yep.
He's either winning spectacularly or getting knocked out. This was something in the middle. It was like a grind out, hard. He even said it after he got kicked in the balls really, really hard and had to take 5 minutes to recover. Where he was just talking to Michael Bisping, just like, how do you feel? He's like, I feel like I'm in a fight. And when I saw that, I kind of thought, yeah, man. And you know what? It's possible that this is the first time that you've ever really felt that. I think you're a guy that's either lost really quickly or won really quickly.
Yeah.
And even though I think I've got questions about the result, Charles Johnson's really impressed me since he's been in the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of these guys, I mean, he lost to Makayev, but aside from that, you know, that was a really competitive fight. Everyone thought Makayev was going to steamroll him. Yeah. And then he did really well.
I felt very, very confident picking Johnson in this fight.
I did as well.
And I'm not going to lie, I went after the fight, I skipped through to the next fight because I just assumed Johnson had won. I just marked that as a win.
Yeah, I didn't think Ode Osborne won it either. But I will give him credit for finding a way to, you know, sometimes you just need to do it once. You know, you just need to have that, I found a way to win, and it was a bit ugly, rather than it just either being awesome or completely shit.
Well, I think you referred to this one at the top of the episode as a robbery.
I don't get how he won, man.
Yeah.
I don't, like... I felt pretty confident in Carl Johnson taking that home.
I literally just marked that down as a correct pick and skipped to the next fight. Very lazy.
It's a weird one. And even...
Well, I say skip. I watched it live, so when I say skipped, what I mean is I went and got a drink and rolled a joint. But in my head, that's skipping.
And it's even like the logic of Ode Osborne. We're in 2023. And if guys still think that just constantly trying to spam a takedown that you don't quite get is going to win you the round without securing any damage,
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Apex. Nobody gives a shit, apparently. Joe Selecki subbed Carl Deaton. It's pretty expected.
I was pretty gutted that Benoit Saint-Denis had to pull out of this one.
That would have been a more fun fight.
That was probably the fight I was most hyped for on this card.
That would have been a much more fun fight.
Yeah, so Selecki just has to beat who's put in front of him. Fair play to the guy for trying to fight, but he knows what it is.
And Aliev kind of just worked Alves, which is disappointing because I was...
Well, how do you feel about the fish hook bite point deduction?
It's a bit weird. I think you should be deducted if you do bite somebody's fingers.
Yeah, but the only reason he bit him is because his fingers were in his mouth, fish hooking him.
True. You shouldn't fish hook somebody.
I understand that Mark Smith can't tell on the replay that he's being fish hooked or that anything's in his mouth because of the angle. All he can see is the bite marks on his fingers, on his finger. But I don't think Aliev should have lost the point for biting a finger that's put in his mouth. I just feel like if someone puts a finger in your mouth, how can you even say it's deliberate? Maybe don't put your fucking finger in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. Like, to the point that I think it should specifically be, like, detailed in the rule set.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure it is.
But I mean, like, if a bite mark can't be, like, clarified, like, the cause of, like, the finger in the mouth on a replay, that a point deduction should not be levied, like... That could have cost Aliev that fight, and that would have been bullshit.
Do you think it was possible that the finger in the mouth was accidental?
Sorry, it's bad timing, though.
No, you're right.
I did not think it was accidental. I did not think that was fucking accidental, bro. The way he is with his like head in his chest almost, it's like you're gouging to some degree in there. You're like.
Is there a more creative way than biting somebody to get their fingers out of your mouth? So, for example, like instead of doing that,
succulently lick and suck on him.
I was
Outside of
thinking
that,
like weirdly licking them. Like, do you think you could just weird it out to the point where somebody's just like, what the hell are you doing? I'm not doing that.
I think it's a good way to get a guy to fucking really dig into your tongue. To be honest, no, I think a motherfucker puts his hands in your mouth, you bite him.
True.
Just end of.
I don't know if I have that option, man. My teeth are fucked. I don't need the dental bill.
Well, you got to remember you got the gum shield up top, right? So that helps with some of the stress there.
True. Talking about gum shields, I had to get a night guard.
Yeah.
Grinding my teeth too much, man.
Oh shit, I do that quite a lot as well.
Fucking so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable. Because I've realised how badly I apparently want to grind my teeth, and now that I have this night guard and it stops me going to sleep, and I just sit there and just like, I really want to be grinding my teeth right now. Fuck. I don't know why I went on that segue. This is such a bad podcast. We're not doing a good job today.
I think we did an okay job. My cold's really, really trying to milk this cameo, but other than that, I think we did an okay job. Wasn't a great card.
Wasn't a great card, so it's not a great podcast. But I'll tell you what, it did make me feel better. I watch a couple of these YouTubers that do like NFL coverage, and they've done this kind of like, so they all have their own channel, and then they'll do this podcast where all five of them do the podcast every single week. And throughout the NFL season, it's usually pretty good, like them talking about their teams and stuff like that. They did one last week during the off season. Nothing happens in the NFL off season, as you well know. And they committed themselves to doing an hour. I'm watching this thing for about 17 minutes. And after they've exhausted we're all going to start with our lights off because it's during Aaron Rodgers' darkness retreat. Once that wears out, it just goes to one of the guys has his whole channel is that he does like different fan reactions. So he's got like a different NFL jersey for every team, and he'll do like different fan reactions for a team over the season or after like a specific game or something like that. For certain teams, he's got like certain characters. So most of the teams, it's just like Ravens fan or something like that. But then for a team like the Commanders, he's got a whole character called Wildflower, because he's just like, that team is so bad that they need like their own special designation. So 15 minutes of darkness retreat and them sitting in the dark. They get bored of that. He starts just doing one of them just starts doing the rest of the podcast in this Wildflower character. And Wildflower kind of talks like this. Little bit like Mr. Hanky from South Park. And that works for about 8 minutes. And then they literally are all just sitting there like, what the fuck do we do? I don't know. Should we call the one other guy that's usually on the podcast that's not here today? Yeah, fuck it. Just phoning him up. So it made me feel like, okay, they actually have real subscribers and they're shit at this. So, you know.
We
There's
spoil
hope.
you.
There's hope.
I was wondering where he was going with it, but you really nailed it at the end. Though.
I took it home, man.
Yeah.
In my stoned, very dry-mouthed,
Yeah,
little tired state.
we need to do a drinks refill. We need to have a smoke. We need to do the pick show.
Yeah, we need to be so much more alert for the picture.
Well, that's not going to happen, but we're going to do a great job because it's a big fucking fight card.
Do you even want to release this one, man? I feel this should just be like a test.
Yeah, I think we should put it out anyway.
Think?
Yeah,
You're the producer. See, it's your decision.
you can always do the audio only if you're worried about the sniffles and whatnot.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
I'd say put it out.
I'm more worried about the awkward pauses and bad segues and losses and train of thought.
You're being too hard on yourself. We did an okay job for a shit card.
This is true. Like, subscribe. Pictures coming out. Please. I'm not even doing the normal intros. Just that's it.
Bye, Laurie. Bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.